dona do lar, eu sou dona de mim.
Se eu nasci pra casar, não, eu nasci pra brilhar.
Este é o lembrete de L'Oréal Paris para que você nunca se esqueça do seu próprio valor. Porque a sua história é valiosa. Porque você vale muito.
ABCs. Welcome to the Bare Naked ABCs, where we discuss every single Bare Naked Lady song from 7 to Y. And tonight I am joined by Heidi. Thank you for joining me.
Hello, everybody. It's Heidi. I'm here.
But we don't have Betsy or Aaron. I guess they're off enjoying the good life tonight. While we
sometimes you just gotta enjoy the good life.
You do.
Especially since it's the last week before school starts. Well, some of y'all might already be back to school.
I'm already back to school.
Sorry, I go back Monday. If I were teaching public school still, though, I would be back this week in PD days, and that could have been an email.
Yeah, it's not the good life.
No offense to administrators out there, but if there are any principals or administrators that actually listen to us, stop doing that to your teachers. Give them relevant professional development, like listening to our podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
You could learn a lot.
You can learn a lot. I don't know how much it's going to help in education, but you can learn a lot.
You could learn a lot. Hey, we have some educators. We have some educator peeps in here, so you can learn something.
As we're recording this week, it's the last week of summer, so I've been out soaking up the sun out by the pool.
I was off the grid last week. So, no, not last week. It was off the grid the week before. Yeah, that's right. Gosh, it was already. But it takes a bit of time to get back and settled after you're completely off the grid.
So 2 weeks ago, you were living the good life.
I was living the good life. Didn't quite catch the northern lights. We were hoping. We did catch some of the Perseids, but it was rainy at night a lot. So we've had a lot of storms through the area the last few days.
A lot of storms through the area the last few months.
Yeah, it's been a weird summer. It was really, really hot, and then now it's 60 degrees. I'm like,
it's like
can we just keep it at a 73, 74. I'm good. It's
like the year shifted 1 month in the other direction because it was super hot in May.
Mm-hmm.
I was in our pool in April, so.
It was a little chilly for swimming for a few of the days, but we were way up north, so it was, it's always a little bit cooler there, and fall starts a little bit earlier up there, but
camping is always the good life.
Oh, it is. It's a very good life.
Yeah.
Especially no distractions, no technology. That is part of the good life.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. Unless you're listening to our podcast, and this week we're going to discuss not the good life in general. We're going to discuss the song Good Life.
Right. So we got the good life here.
If you haven't heard the song before, here is a quick snippet.
It's a good life. We're living that dream every night. We ain't gonna get another. Brothers and sisters, you don't wanna live no other. It's a good life. Wasn't easy, but it turned out alright. Wouldn't trade it for another. Brothers and sisters, you don't wanna miss this mother.
And it was on the Tour de Force, the second song on this album. Interesting spot for it. It is written by Ed as well as Kevin Griffin from Better Than Ezra.
Very interesting fact there.
It is the third single that was released off this album on July 16th in 2021. They have played it 70 times in concert, 59 times during 2022.
Wow. Yeah, it was a big one on their Summer on Earth tours.
It was such a big one. It is their, because even though it was on their second most recent album, I don't want to call it the penultimate album because maybe they'll come out with another one. Um, it was their 73rd most played song out of all their songs.
Wow.
They've written almost 350 songs, and they played this one in the last 3 years, 73rd most
Wow.
out of all their tours ever. That's a lot of playing.
It is a lot of playing. I mean, it's a good laugh. It's been pretty, has it been their opener?
No, their opener,
No.
a lot of
Wait,
that tour was Matter of Time.
Matter of Time. That's right. Matter of
Although Good
Time.
Life,
Yeah,
if I
that's right.
remember, was like their second or third one that they would come
I
to
sometimes
after.
get this mixed up with Love and Life because there's a lot about life in their later, which again, they're older, that maturity factor, that change in philosophy, if you will.
Yeah.
Especially in this song. This song is kind of like where they are now versus where they were 25 years ago. So,
Well, the placement on this album is interesting just because of the subject matter. They start out with Flip, which is, we'll talk about that in a few weeks, but it is a little bit of a scathing examination of our current society. And then we go to Good Life, and then we flip back to New Disaster, which is a very scathing commentary on our society.
right.
What are they trying to tell us?
I don't know.
Life sucks for everyone except for us because we have millions of dollars.
Right.
I mean, my biggest complaint about this song is it does come off a bit egotistical and an ableist.
Okay, yeah, I can see that from your background and perspective in psychology, if you will. Um
I know they're just trying to celebrate, but it really, I couldn't imagine being in the slums or being really super poor and listening to this and being like, yeah, it is. It's a good life.
Well, I think it's that whole like this is especially if you followed the band from the mid to late 90s through. Some of the lyrics in here really did resonate with me in that in a way it's weird because he's talking about, they've made a lot of money doing some silly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that, all of the stuff that they made a lot of money for wasn't their best stuff. They know that.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the lyrics later, when we go through the lyrics, unless you want to chat about that now.
We can do that first, sure.
Okay. So where he's like, he was young and he wrote from, just off the cuff so much. I mean, the entire rap in 1 week was just kind of a free throw.
Mm-hmm.
But now that whole idea of I want to know what the benefit of hindsight, I might have not have had a fist fight that night. I wonder what that is.
Yes, I want to know what
I'm
that
very curious
is.
if that's just being he needed something to rhyme or wanted to be silly there.
I want to know if he had a
Uh,
fist fight with Steve.
Maybe.
Ed,
Um,
write a song about this. We
and
all
then
want to
it's
know.
kind of going, the spotlight made a family, made friend. There was some shit that went down. We all know about all the stuff that went down, and now they're kind of back. But it's looking back and going, do they really like? I remember seeing them in packed, and you do too, arenas,
Mm-hmm.
thousands of people, huge arena concerts, and now I'm seeing them at much smaller, intimate venues.
Yeah.
So they're not going to pack a stadium anymore. And what's interesting is people that opened for them are now they're on the first on a bill with somebody that they opened with in the past. So it's or that they're opening for now that is open for them in the past. So it's really
Yeah.
interesting. And you know what the section I really like though was you write a poem right to the top, and I think this is going right back to 1 week. You're in the
Mhm.
moment, then you're not, because again, those. But I would never call BNL a one-hit wonder, but a lot of people would.
But by
People that
definition, they are.
right, a lot of folks kind of think of Bare Naked Ladies as 1 week or Pinch Me. Okay.
Mhm.
They're not because they're not the long-term full ride fans. They don't see the bulk of the work.
Right.
But as far as mainstream play goes, yeah, they're kind of like a two-hit wonder. So occasionally
Mhm.
you'd hear in Canada, that's a whole different story. They're
Yes.
not. But you're not hearing sometimes on Sirius. I listen to Sirius XM, but I go through a variety of stations. Um, you hear Pinch Me, you hear 1 week, you hear occasionally Old Apartment,
Mhm.
very occasionally, and in a blue moon you might hear Brian Wilson. But other than that, when Flip first came out, I heard that a few times on one of the channels.
Yep.
But it's not like Aerosmith or AC/DC or bands
No.
that like they're so, they're not getting their own channel. So you were everybody's favorite flavor, pretty sweet, but you fell out of favor. I wouldn't say, I think in their thinking, because now they're not filling stadiums. They're not,
Right.
in the moment. But a lot of bands from the 90s are not in the moment anymore. I mean, they were all over. They were on 90210 and they were on TV shows and they were doing all of the things. The thing that it really struck me is when he says, not much I miss about that Fame game, everybody knowing my face, but not knowing my name. And
Mm.
I think about that because when you first go to a concert, and you're not familiar with the band, who's Ed? I don't know. Is Steve. So some people think Ed is Steve. Steve is Ed. Who's Cat?
Right.
Like, because you just don't know. It's not like going to see again a solo artist that you know their name. When you're in a
Right.
band like that is a really collaborative band, more people knew Ed's name and Steve's name, even if they got them a little confused or didn't know, because it wasn't like you knew. Yeah, some people just don't know. So I can see them going, that's my name.
Well, and early on, like when they were doing interviews, like when they went big, they would get on the national shows and people would miss up their names,
Oh yeah.
and not get them right, which is a little embarrassing.
Well, it's kind of like Jethro Tull. That's the name
Mhm.
of the band. It's not the name of like the lead singer or player. Like
Right.
it's the name of the band. It's like Hootie and the Blowfish. If you listen to shoot, what's his name? Darius Rucker,
Darius Rucker.
who has now made quite a name for himself in the country music area. I remember back so much people would call him Hootie all the time.
Mhm.
That's not my name. And so they
Not
don't
even
know
my
your name.
nickname.
No. Um, but it was a huge moment for them over that. But I really love the line too. It comes to pass. It doesn't come to
Doesn't come to
stay.
stay.
Everybody has an expiration point. Every band. I mean, Aerosmith just announced 2 weeks ago that they're retiring from touring forever,
Yeah.
which now they're plenty old enough.
Right. I mean,
They've been touring for
Steven
years.
Tyler has lost his voice,
He's
literally.
lost his voice.
Um,
Now, granted, he's destroyed it in so many ways, but I did see an incredible, it was like Modern Machine or something like that. It was and they literally, I used to show it to my chorus students where they took a scope down his throat and you can see the
the
damage to
damage.
his vocal cords from the
All that
screech singing.
screaming.
Oh my gosh. But let it all unfold and step out of the way. Just see what happens
Well, and I
because
said with the everyone knows my face but not my name line, and then the what's my name, like it's that's not an age thing that I think he's saying. You kind of get blended in. And they actually, Steve said this with celebrity, is that he's getting it is that you get lost in your celebrity. You
yeah,
become that guy from Bare Naked Ladies,
right.
not Ed Robertson, not
Right.
Steve Page.
Even and it's kind of like when you're also when you're out too, like you hear your name but you're not processing that that's who they're talking to. You're like, oh wait, are you talking to me? Oh, they call me Eddie. It's like um and then when he goes into the rap
Yes.
part, this is where you really get a good glimpse. I think this is he
So
always has some of his best writing, I think, when he goes into the freeform rap stuff.
so he
But,
wrote this rap, according to one of his interviews. He wrote this rap while Kevin Griffin went to the bathroom. He just
and
banged
it's
out
not
the bridge, came back, and Kevin was like, "You are Ed Robertson, aren't you?"
yeah, exactly. He because this is personal. Like I can see him go, because it must have been hard. His kids were little when they were doing a lot of touring. And his plate was very full. But he was able to, if you will, fill the plates of his family because he was putting food on the table and making a lot of money. Um, you know, in the States they went platinum and that's where we were getting those massive arenas to their rafters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen them, you've seen them. I mean, I've seen them well over 20 times. And in the late 90s, going to the Verizon Center right after that was built, that was still packed.
Yeah.
Seeing them in Massachusetts, forget about it.
Seeing him at
When I
Boston
saw
Square
them in
at the
Quebec,
Boston.
holy crap, that place was rocking. You want to see them in a show? Go see them in Canada. Holy
I bet.
smokes. But now, 1 week was a high peak. Yeah, it wasn't even funny, but made money by the ton. And I think of Box Set a lot in this song too, because remember how they're going through, this one really sucks, but we put it out there anyway.
Yeah.
This one isn't even good, but people are buying it. But then when he talks about that shift to getting the Big Bang Theory and then seeing another new audience coming in as a result of that, I think again, it is still a good hang. Through 30 years of and I've been a fan for almost all of those. It's it's still a good hang. It's still a
Mm-hmm.
good show. It's still a fun time when you go and you're going to feel good when you leave. You're not
Mm-hmm.
going your ears aren't going to be blown out. Your voice might be gone from singing along so much and annoying everyone around you. But I can imagine though they do sit back and go, yeah, do we miss playing the giant arenas with the big screens and all of the the choreography and the technology and all of that stuff and now it's trimmed down so much more. Like I wonder if I don't know, it's kind of nostalgic, I think.
It is very nostalgic. And I want to say this about that rap, about that bridge. This is a good sorry. This is a good rap. It makes sense.
It is.
It's fun. It's not fast, but that's okay. Ed, we knew you could do it. Why was 1 week not like this?
But then again, I mean, there's I mean, chickadee China, the Chinese chicken, have a drumstick in your brain. Watching X-Files with no lights on. We're done. LeMay is on. Like, that's creative. I hope the Smoky Man's in this one. So if you grew up in that time and you're like, oh yeah, I was watching, X-Files and the Smoky Man.
It's creative, but it doesn't tell a story. This tells a story. Like the rhyming tells a story. And he wrote it in 5 minutes. Or at least I assume Kevin Griffin was not in there for an hour. So like he wrote it in a short period of time. Yeah.
Well, you never know. He could have IBS. We don't know. Kevin, come on the show and we'll find out.
But still, he wrote it in a very short period of time. And it still makes sense. Like there's a scheme to it, there's a rhyme to it, and it follows a story.
Yeah. And I like it. I like the way that it flows because the song musically is not exciting. It's quite boring, actually, chordally, not musically, but chordally, because literally you've got 4 chords through the whole song.
Before we get to the music, there are a couple notes I had lyrically I wanted to make sure I still touched on.
Please do. I was just so on a roll.
One of the things that I love about BNL is they teach me something new with their songs. I did not know what a gatefold was until this song. Do you know what? I'm not sure you might know. I don't know. Musically, I mean, there's a couple different ways that gatefold is used. It's that one of the words that's in our bridge for tonight's song, and it's a type of record sleeve that is used usually with more than one album, which ironically they also used for this album. It looks like this. It's made out of cardboard. I'm trying to show you, but the filter keeps wanting to not allow me to, but it's the one for this album where you have the cardboard that's folded in 2. On one side you have the CD, and on the other side you have the lyrics that are in these 2 little pockets. If you've ever had a Beatles CD, they used to do the same thing. They would have the album on one side, and they would have, you would have this little fold in a way that you could get your album in there. It was really big used for albums for a long time. And it was kind of the big thing to come to. Like a lot of the older ones, they would use the plastic containers. And it's like, no, now we've upgraded to the fact that we've got a gatefold. We've got vinyl gatefolds at this point for our albums. This is cool.
I learned something new then.
The other thing
I did not know that either. But now we all do. The more you know.
I also like that they make an allusion to themselves here when they said we were everybody's favorite flavor. Because Ben and Jerry's made a flavor of ice cream named after them called If I Had a Million Flavors. It was chocolate and vanilla ice creams mixed with fudge covered toffee, white chocolate chunks, peanut butter cups, and fudge covered almonds.
And it's not existing anymore.
No, they've taken it out of circulation, unfortunately.
Which is a shame. Because that sounds delicious. But they made that when I couldn't afford Ben and Jerry's.
I mean, if you think about that, it's like Rocky Road, but a much better version of Rocky Road.
Heck yeah.
So good job with Ben and Jerry's on doing that. And I love the fact that they make that little association there.
And yet fish food still exists. Must be because they're from Vermont. They're still playing a song that they started 20 years ago. So,
Right.
Sorry, Fish is known, for those of you who don't know who Fish is, Phish. They're a band from northern Vermont that kind of think Grateful Dead as far as their long jam band kind of thing. So they're probably still playing a song they started years ago. And I mean, like literally still playing in a field somewhere.
They used to come up and play Bumstock at UMaine every year. So I love Fish.
Fish is good. Little red snapper. Um,
There is a line in this that I do not like, and I wish Ed had taken a little bit more time with this line to work on it. You don't want to miss this mother.
You know what? Sisters and brothers, you don't want to miss this mother.
It just
Yeah.
it's a weak rhyme. It's not really telling anything. It doesn't add anything to the song. The rest of the lyrics all add something to the song. This one doesn't, and I feel like it's just weak, and they could have pulled that out. It's filler. They should have put something else in.
Yeah. I mean, you know what they're doing. The brothers and sisters, you don't want to miss this mother thing. Yeah, it's never quite. That's the only thing that doesn't sit with me. Wouldn't trade it for another, but then brothers and sisters, okay, he's talking to all of his fans, I guess. You don't want to miss this train, this ride, this motherfucker. You don't want to miss this journey, even though it changes. You know, you take the good, you take the bad, and there you go, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. There's a time you gotta show. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, I agree with you on that. I will concede that is not the best rhyme.
Yeah,
it's kind of weak.
But other than that, I really like it. So
same, I do. It follows as far as form goes. It very basic. You've got the intro with Tyler. Is that Tyler? Yeah. Oh, it's a good.
No. So
who is that?
Is Kevin Griffin.
I always thought that was Tyler, because when they do it in concert, isn't it Tyler?
In concert, Tyler takes over. But yeah, it's actually Kevin Griffin that's doing the proclaimer.
He does a great Tyler impersonation, because it sounds a lot like Tyler when he gets into his, it's a good, he's got a kind of open sound there. But you have that little intro, which comes back a few times. Then you've got basic verse, chorus. Then you've got that little intro thing again, and verse, chorus. Then that bridge, the rap, and then you end with the chorus again. So it's pretty basic form-wise. As far as chord structure goes, the chord progression is a 6-4-1-5 all the way through. You've got G sharp minor to E to B to F sharp. It's in B major. It is about I would say, because it's B major, so in the B major key you have a minor 6 chord, and that is a little bit interesting because he does start on a minor 6 instead of starting on a 1 chord or traditionally in that home kind of bass. He does start it in the 6, and even though his voice shifts in the rap section, it still stays in the same progression all the way through. So it almost sounds like it's not, but it actually is. It's about 172 beats per minute, but you take that at 86 beats per minute, or if you double that, whatever. But it's pretty straightforward. 6-4-1-5, 6-4-1-5, 6-4-1-5. So it's all pretty much all the way through. Pretty standard. Pretty standard.
Okay.
And he lands. Actually, he lands. I don't even think they resolve it. I don't think they resolve from the minor 6 at the end, which is a deceptive cadence, so it might not.
Good life.
Hey there, busy parents. Christian Swain here, the rock and roll archaeologist. I know just how stressful family dinners can be, from planning and shopping to actually getting everyone to enjoy what you made. But I've got some good news for you. HelloFresh totally gets it too. They're making dinner easier and more enjoyable with fresh ingredients and recipes that even picky eaters love, delivered right to your door each week. I've been using HelloFresh for a while now, and let me tell you, their new Build-A-Plate meals are a game changer. Imagine not having to make multiple dinners to satisfy everyone's tastes. And with so many options, each member of my family gets to build their perfect plate from just one meal. No more, I don't want this at the dinner table, just happy faces and clean plates. Plus, with HelloFresh, I don't have to worry about meal planning or grocery store runs. Their easy-to-follow recipes with pre-portioned ingredients save me so much time, especially now that school's back in session. And here's the best part. Right now, kids eat free. Go to HelloFresh.com/PantheonKids to unlock this exclusive offer. That's one free kids meal per box for 2 months while your subscription is active. So, what are you waiting for? Head to HelloFresh.com/PantheonKids. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I need to listen to it again. I never really thought about the ending.
It ends the same way that it begins.
Yeah.
Always the good life. Good life.
Oh no, he lands on a 5. That's where it is. It lands on a 5.
Okay,
so it's a half
it feels
cadence.
like home.
Yeah. So it lands on a 5, which is a half cadence because it doesn't come to the 1, but it's close. It's like it's yeah.
It's close enough that it feels good.
Yeah. Good life. So yeah, this wasn't a hard one to talk about. So
no, musically I'm betting that it was pretty simple. And so Eric Ratz, who was the producer for the album, did the loops for this song. My guess is that there were a lot of loops for this, especially when they were doing Always the Good Life, that intro, like you were saying. I think that's the section that they used loops the most. And Kevin Griffin and Eric both produced this song. So it's interesting because Kevin Griffin usually isn't going back into the production booth, and he did for this song. So kind of neat. I have a question though. To me, this song sounds oddly similar to New Disaster. Is it in the same key or does it have the same chords?
Let's see. I need to go back in my notes. Hold on. No, it's not even close.
Huh.
Not even close.
I wonder, there's something about it. I don't know what it is. I wish I could put my finger on it, but every time I hear this, my brain goes into New Disaster as well.
Which is, well, it's because it starts on an F sharp minor chord. So in the key of, is it E? No. Where are my notes? I think it has a similar sound, but I think it's in a completely different key. But that doesn't mean, the thing is if it's going in the same chord progression,
right? If it's going that 6 2
you're
5,
getting the
1.
same chord progression. It's just in a different key. That's what, like,
right.
if your voice if you're older and your voice is not as high as you used to be, then you drop the key. And so you're doing the same chord progression, but it's just in a different key.
Okay. That might be why it sounds so similar then.
Yeah, because this one, let's see, New Disaster's in the key of D. In the key of D. And it's about the same beats per minute, so there's similarities there. But it goes, let's see. No, it goes from a minor 3 to a 1 chord. So not I don't know, but it might sometimes songs just kind of get in our brain and we kind of feel that they're similar because of either, I don't know, instrumentation, structure, beat, rhythm, like whatever it is. So I can see that, but it's completely different chord wise.
Yeah, maybe it's just because it followed up by that song and it's not so different that the two kind of blended.
Yeah, it goes 3 to 1 to 5 to 2. Holy smokes.
Huh.
And a meter too. You know what? I think that's modal. I gotta recheck. I gotta relook. But it's very, very different.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. I learned something new today. Why don't we talk a
Well,
little bit about the video?
sure.
So the video was directed by Edward Pond. He
Edward
also directed
Pond.
the he also directed the video for New Disaster. He has directed and written. He has directed 3 short movies and written 2 short movies: Solid State, Wind Shear, and the one he only directed was Blush Riot. Now, what were your thoughts on this video? I know I have mine written down. You're not going to change my opinion, but I'd like to hear what yours were.
The Fish Island or Fish Eye Lens approach always kind of gives me nausea.
Thank you. Okay, good. Not just me.
It
Okay.
always gives me nausea. Like, I don't know. I kind of like them kind of going around Toronto, but it made me dizzy. I don't know why. It was like, like it kind of like
It's very disorienting.
it very disorienting. And it's that I can't watch that for very long. I hate it when directors do it in movies. I hate, and there was so much circular motion.
Yes.
And I think there was a point to that. Maybe it's the circle of life or something like that. But the circular motion was you've got circles, you've got the fish islands, you've got them on the circular bicycle thing. You've got them coming from above and people circling around them. You've got there's
well, because of the camera, because they were using that fisheye lens, the video is very blocky and stutters a lot, which just again led to that disorientation.
And what's funny is that Ed's lip syncing while they're riding on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like
it's not lining up right.
But a lot of and I don't know if maybe the director was trying to make a point with the circular motion of it, to connect it some kind of way,
Nope.
or did he just want to play with a camera in a weird ass way?
So there is a behind the scenes of this video, which I have watched. Yeah, it's basically, hey, I thought it would be cool to have them on this bike, this round bike going around Toronto, and with this kind of lens that can then go into the air. I thought it would be kind of interesting.
But it's the woo
Yes.
stuff going down and back up and down, and it's so disorienting.
I liked that New Disaster told the story that the video was it told the story of the song. This doesn't tell any story.
No, it's just out there in the park doing the thing in Toronto, just kind of being around.
I feel like they're trying to do the Get Set Go, not Get Set Go. They're trying to do the Go. Oh, what's the name of those videos? Where they do those interesting choreographies and dances, and they always do something neat, like going up into the plane and then dropping. Like,
oh yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but like if you're playing a video game, when it does this too, it freaks me out. Like I can't play. There's very disorienting. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan. No offense.
I did like the choreographed dancing though.
Yeah, with the towel. That was
yes. If they had done that with a normal lens and done different bits like that from the sky, that would have captivated me. We're not going to rate it based on the video though. We're going to forget the video and we're going to rate it just based on this song. What do you think we should go for a metric this week? How many gatefolds?
Yeah, let's go with gatefolds because then it's a new word.
How many gatefolds would you give this song, Heidi?
I like this song. I do. With the exception of the couple of little lyric things, it's upbeat, it's fun. Um, again, for those of us that are going for nostalgia, it's like, oh yeah, and I remember those days too. And those were a fun time. And now I'm like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. I gotta get home and get to bed. Can we make sure there's no second encore? Or come on, encore, but because we're all those of us that have been in the ride for a long time, yeah, it's but I'm gonna give this 4.2 gatefolds. I really do like it. I do.
Okay.
Respectable.
4.2. That's a good score.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, God forbid you go below 4.
Oh, not go below 4. There are a few songs I go below 4. Go below 4. Wait.
Well, I'm
Below
gonna go
4.
below 4 on my rating. It doesn't go on my playlist. It's not something I would listen to and have to have on my playlist. I have to hear it. If it comes on, I'll listen to it. It's good. It's enjoyable. There's no parts of it that I despise or majorly want to change except for that one line. And when you have one line out of the song that you want to change and that's it, that's pretty good. So I would give it a 3.75.
Oh, okay. So that's not so bad.
No. So, and next week's song, by the way, is God Forbid.
Oh, God forbid. God
God
forbid.
forbid you get my pun.
God forbid. No, I got the pun. It was funny. It was really funny.
Well,
Ooh,
Heidi, thank you
excuse me.
so much for joining me. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here. The whole world's sinking. Sorry,
Thanks for being a friend.
now I go with Bob's Burgers every time on that one. Linda Belcher is my spirit animal. My spirit cartoon person.
She improvises every single time. Do you know the actress improvises the end of that every single episode?
She does. It's a guy that plays Linda.
Is it a guy or she?
Yeah.
He, yes. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like everything. I have in my office a little Linda Belcher figurine thing, and it has a wine and a wine glass. And I just love everything she says. And then I have the burger that says things, but she's
Oh.
my favorite, Bobby. Bobby.
Bobby.
But she sings about everything, and I like my Thanksgiving is my favorite. But that's that Thanksgiving song I can play on repeat. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being there. So next we should do a Bob's Burgers podcast, and I
Oh
am
my
it.
God, we'd be here forever.
Oh, Bob's Burgers. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well,
So
come
anyway,
back and
thanks,
join
everybody.
us next week as we discuss God Forbid.
God forbid.
And God forbid that Betsy and Aaron aren't with us for next week.
See, they will be. I think.
They will.
Oh, I don't know. I start my massive commutes again next week.
Yes.
Every day.
Heidi, we're down to I think 10 songs.
Oh my Lanta. Oh boy. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 songs left.
Wow. Holy
Three
cow.
months. That's it. Just 3 months left, Heidi.
Holy cow. How did that happen so fast?
I know. What am I gonna do?
Wow.
Oh
All
wait,
right,
I already
y'all.
have a plan.
We have a plan. We have a backup plan. We have another plan. So don't worry about it. We got this. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night,
Have a
Tracy.
great night.
You too. Bye.